My lovelies, welcome back. I'm smiling because I feel so repetitive. We are going to talk about the solar eclipse in Aries, the partial solar eclipse in Aries that is occurring on the 29th of March. And I say I feel repetitive because this eclipse is just gonna hone in on everything we've been talking about all month. It's the same idea here. We're talking about the same idea. What do I mean? Well, I mean Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. So when I'm going to talk about this solar eclipse for each sign, you will notice that I'm telling you basically the same thing that I've told you for the Venus retrograde and for the Mercury retrograde. Basically, all of March, we are working on two main areas in our lives. So depending on what rising sign you are, you keep honing in, you keep digging, you keep going deeper, you keep looking at it from different angles. But it's the same topics, the same themes. And if you watched my retrograde videos, you already know what that means for you. But, I want to talk about it again because sometimes we just have to hear things over and over again so they click, so they make sense. And just as a general reminder, solar eclipses are new moons, right? More intensified new moons. So we're talking about new beginnings. And also endings, particularly with this one. The endings and beginnings are so obvious because we're talking about the last sign and the first sign of the zodiac. The eclipse, the moon, is going to eclipse the sun in 9 degrees of Aries. But the north node is in Pisces. So this is an out of sign eclipse. I have a long post about this on my blog, but also here on YouTube. If you go to the post section, you can scroll down. It's there, it's long, it's extensive. It explains out of sign eclipses in all detail. Just as a reminder, it's honing in on finishing up one theme and starting anew. So we are going to be very busy, right? You've probably been very busy all month. And busy doesn't necessarily mean running around. You might be busy in the mind, you might be busy in relationships, you might be busy in certain areas of your life. But there is like this focus, it's almost like there's constantly that laser beam on this area and it just doesn't stop. Every time you think, oh, okay, I'm through it, I understood it, it seems like there's another layer. And there is another layer with this solar eclipse. Generally speaking, this eclipse is happening in Aries, 9 degrees, out of sign eclipse with the nodes in 28 degrees of Pisces. The theme here is ending a cycle, right? Pisces. Surrendering to what is. And then that will allow us to begin again, having the courage, Aries, having the determination, Aries, taking the initiative, Aries, self-assertion, Aries, all themes here. And again, those themes are in certain areas. So you have to find the courage. You have to take the initiative. You have to utilize your willpower to begin again. This could be in the area of work, daily habits, relationships, intimacy, home, family. But again, there is this theme of courage, doing it now. I don't know, I have this Nike slogan in my mind right now. Just do it. That's the energy. Now, without further ado, let's go into the signs. So for Aries, well, obviously this eclipse falls into your first house. So since the node is in your 12th house, the 12th house is also activated. So we're talking about you moving forward in life, you taking the initiative. And I think this is nothing spectacularly new for you, right? You are used to taking the initiative. It's not something that you shy away from, generally speaking. But I think This eclipse is wanting to move you into a new direction. Something that you're unsure, you might be unsure of it. You might not be fully clear as well about it. On the 30th, so one day after this one day after the solar eclipse, Neptune is moving into Aries. So you are going to have a lot going on going forward the next months, years, right? You're gonna have Saturn here, you're gonna have Neptune here. So this feeling of I'm not sure, shall I do it? I think I should do it, but I'm not sure I should do it, is already here. But you're encouraged to do it, right? Whatever it is. What comes to mind here is identity shifts. Like you're a different person now compared to the past few years, right? You've been shedding layers and layers and layers and layers. And now you're feeling like, okay, there's a new version of me here now, but can I step out? And I think this eclipse is not going to really ask you. This eclipse is going to push you, right? That's also the energy of an eclipse generally, particularly if it's an Aries, right? It's just like, you don't want to jump? Well, now you're jumping. Again, you might not be ready fully, but it doesn't matter, because in life, we are not always ready. We're not always ready for life, right? We're not always ready for what is presented. But it wouldn't be presented to us. It wouldn't be there. We wouldn't be in this situation if we couldn't handle it. Our soul chose the path. And then our limited human mind, has all these fears, worries. And I'm not saying like every worry or every fear is unfounded. Of course not. But life is growth. We want to move forward. So we have to overcome fears. We got to overcome obstacles. We got to overcome the worries, the limited ideas. And this is one of those moments, right? You do it anyways. That's what this eclipse is saying. You're scared, you do it anyways. So get on board with that new direction. Just get used to it. Because that's also, you just haven't practiced that new identity enough. That's why it feels uncomfortable. That's why it feels new and weird. And can I really do this? Is this really me? That's part of life. It's part of the experience. And you go and do it anyways. Then Taurus Rising, for you, this energy is in the 12th house. And then also, of course, in the 11th house, because the nodes are there. So we are talking possibly a new approach to spirituality, the way you live your spirituality, the way you are connected with your spirituality, the way you assert it in life, right? The way you are asserting your spiritual ideas, your understanding of the divine, your understanding of what you came here to do. Remember the 12th house? I mean, it's so underrated. It really is the birthplace of everything. It's where we are in gestation, right? We are in gestation before we come out into the physical world, right? The ascendant marks the moment when we arrive on this planet, right? When we separate from the mother. And before that, we are in gestation, right? We are in the mother's womb and we are growing in there. It's a form of retreating before we come here, right? We're getting ready. And every time we go on a retreat, or we go, spend time on our own, take ourselves out of this physical world, spend time on our own. Every time we do that, we get to rejuvenate. We get to also review life. How has life been treating us? How have we been treating life? How do we want to treat life going forward? What is next for you? Where do you want to take this? Gemini Rising. For you, this is the 11th house. Then also the 10th house is affected. But let's focus on the 11th house. We're talking about your higher aspirations, your ideals in life, but also your friendship circle, the group that you identify with. Are you still identifying with that group? Or is it time to take on a leading role in this group? You probably already are somewhat of a quote-unquote leader in your circle, in your community. But maybe it is now time to take this a step further. Maybe it's also time to identify with a new group, stepping up. Remember, this is a solar eclipse in Aries. We're taking bold moves in whatever area this eclipse falls into. For you, this is the 11th house, friendship circles, community, your ideals. What do you actually want? What are your higher aspirations? What do you actually want? You know, yes, you want to climb the ladder and you have a purpose and all of that, but what are you going to do with it? What's your higher ideals? It is time to take a step forward there. Then Cancer Rising, for you, we're talking about climbing the ladder, getting to live your purpose, taking bold steps towards that, towards your purpose, the next bold step. Because I think you're generally relatively bold when it comes to pursuing your work life, your purpose work, but it is time for a new step, the next step, an up-leveled step. And that will take courage. And, you know, you might be just tossed out into the limelight by life, right? Maybe it is not you that is going to take that step. Like maybe, you know, something is just propelling you forward. This is, it is not the most intense eclipse we've ever had. I would say, I mean, I think the lunar eclipse we had on the 14th of March was much more intense. I mean, that was much more taking energy from us. I think this eclipse, it gives us a lot of energy. And again, it also gives us the power to self-assert, right? Also to take the initiative. So take the initiative in your work, in your professional life. What do you actually want there? Be bold. Be bold, because why not? Leo Rising, for you, this eclipse falls into the 9th house. On the broader scale, we're talking about beliefs here, your belief system. But this can show up in different shapes, forms, and sizes. Like, for example, this could look like you traveling. You just like, you're on the go, exploring the world, learning about life by getting to know different cultures. I think that is generally something you enjoy very much, and something you're known to do, right? It's not hard for you. You don't generally think a lot about, oh, shall I go here? Shall I do that? You just go, right? You do. It's not that there's no thought involved when you plan a trip, but generally there is this spark, and when the spark is there, you go. And I think this is true here as well. I think you might explore new places. And if it's not places, if you're not traveling, then you might explore new ideals, new ideas for your life. You might pave a new path. This could also relate to politics, to religion, to higher learning. A new path, taking bold steps, showing up, like literally showing up, right? Here I am. Again, this could be the political stage. This could be, like I said, higher learning, or this could be related to traveling, right? There is the broader idea here is beliefs, opening up to a new way of looking at the world, because in the 9th house, the world is your stage, and then taking bold steps in that new way that you see for yourself, right? The way you see yourself showing up now. Then Virgo Rising, for you, we're talking about the 8th house. We're talking about shared resources. We're talking about intimacy. We're talking about the deeper, darker layers of life. And you might take bold steps in this area. This could relate to relationships, right? Like shared resources in this area. There might be, you might be ready to take things to a next level in relationships. This could also relate to your own inner work and understanding something on a deeper layer, and that then helps you to show up stronger, bolder. That might give you the courage to do something that you've been wanting to do, related to relationships, but also related to your life in general. And you wanted to do it, but you didn't feel ready. And now you're like, okay, let's do it. And if that's not the case, if it's not you saying, okay, let's do it, this eclipse might just give you that little push, because that's what eclipses are known to do, right? They give it a little push, and out you are. There you are, showing up in this new version self, being bold, being yourself, helping others. This could also relate to you showing up for others in a new way, helping them go deeper, show up for themselves deeper, on a deeper level, right? You helping them with insights. Then Libra Rising, for you, we're talking about the 7th house relationships, one-on-one relationships, could also be business relationships, but it will most likely relate to intimate relationships, romantic relationships, long-term partners. The question is, what do you want in this area? You've been working through this, probably not very consciously, maybe consciously, but probably not very consciously. You've been working through this in the past month. This theme of relationships. What do I want? How do I want to show up in my relationship? How do I feel in my relationship? Am I seen in my relationship? Am I seeing my partner for who he is or for who she is? Am I seeing them clearly? How deep am I going? Am I going deep enough? Can I go deep with that person? How deep can I actually go? Right? Venus has been working through this. Then Mercury came in. I think Mercury brought in a lot of Mercury brought in the communication part. So the communication with your partner. How deep can you actually go with your partner? How much depth is there when it comes to communicating with your partner? How deep can you go with your partner? And I think this eclipse is going to hone in on that. And then the question here is, what's the next step? Because if this eclipse is not propelling you to take a next step, to make a move in this area, I think the next 6 months are going to make you stall. Like there will be this feeling of something needs to shift and change. I don't know what it is. Really, I don't understand it, but I feel a little stuck here. But if you're able to take the next step, whatever that step is for you in your relationship, I think the next 6 months are going to be very, very enlightening, and also I think passionate. There's going to be, igniting the passion in the relationship with whatever step needs to be taken, whatever is going to be initiated through this eclipse. And again, remember, this also affects the 6th house for you, because the nodes are in the 6th house. So we're talking day to day. What on a day-to-day basis can help you ignite the fire in your relationship in a way where you can take it deeper? Right? We're not just talking about, the pleasure in the bedroom here. We're talking about taking it deeper, like planning a future. Can you do that? Do you want to do that? Can you see yourself doing it? Or are you avoiding it because it's something you don't want to deal with? This eclipse will show you. Then Scorpio Rising, 6th house, day-to-day routine, health, and your lifestyle. There probably needs to be fresh wind in this area. And this eclipse will bring just that fresh wind. And it takes courage. It takes you to be courageous. It takes you to take the initiative, assert yourself, and be bold. Go for what you want. Don't hold back. I mean, I think generally you are very much a self-starter, right? You're generally not really waiting around for someone to do something for you. You see you see what's possible, and then you go for it. But I think what you're asked to do now and who you're asked to be now is different. Like you've done certain things a certain way throughout your life, and you're now asked to do it in a new way. And only you know what that means for your life, right? So this could relate to your health, like changing your lifestyle. I mean, this could relate to your work, the way you work, how you work, where you work. You got to allow yourself to up-level this area. We're going to talk about this area a lot going forward because Saturn is going to move into this area for you, and then also Neptune. So stay tuned. Then Sagittarius Rising for you, we are talking about the 5th house, love, self-expression, creativity, creation, power. You are asked to be bold. Be bold when it comes to love. Be bold when it comes to your self-expression, showing up as your authentic self, not hiding who you are, not just sugarcoating, giving the world a version of yourself, giving the other, your partner, your lover, a version of yourself. No, you are asked to give yourself authentically, showing up boldly, taking the initiative also in this area. If there is someone, there is a love interest, you are asked to take the initiative, taking things to the next level when it comes to love. Children could also play a role here. Your children, like maybe a new approach to parenting, the way you communicate with your children, the way you act with your children, the way you are with your children. This could be a topic as well. Capricorn Rising, for you, we're talking about the 4th house, home, family, ancestry, your personal life, what happens behind closed doors when no one is watching. There is a new way of asserting yourself, a new way of being, taking the initiative, being bold, showing up in your home life in a new way. And again, this could manifest in so many different ways. This could manifest in you moving to a new place, you moving out, someone moving in, you moving in with someone, a new approach to the way you structure your family, the way you want to live as a family union, the way you view your family, the way you're connected to your family. There's a newness here, a new understanding, a new way of doing things. Remember, this is Aries we are doing here. We're not just sitting around, we're active. Then Aquarius Rising, for you, this is an eclipse in the 3rd house. So we are talking about your environment, your social circle. Is it time to change your environment? Is it time to rearrange your social circle, your social life? Do you need to have a new approach to your siblings, your family? Be bold. This is a bold time, making bold moves. We are making bold moves during this eclipse. This is an eclipse. This is also the last eclipse in Aries, right? Remember, we are then fully in Pisces and Virgo. The notes are already there. So this is the last hooray for Aries. And so what needs to still shift and change? You've been working through this area in the last 18 months. So what still needs to shift and change in your environment, your neighborhood? I mean, do you want to be there? Do you want to live there? Do you have new ideas that you want to implement? Maybe you want to learn something new. This is also the area of communication. Is there a new way of communicating? A new way of asserting yourself in this area? Then Pisces Rising, for you, we're talking about the 2nd house, worth and value. So Venus, has been doing her magic in this area, then Mercury has been doing its magic in this area as well, and now the eclipse. It's time for something new. It's time to show up in a new way, show up boldly, standing in your worth, knowing that you are worthy, knowing that you deserve whatever you desire, and then you go and get it. This is what this eclipse is saying. Go and get it. Taking inspired action in this area. This could also relate to your finances, can relate to a new job, making money in a new way, taking the initiative, like showing up, saying, no, I'm going to do things different now. I'm going to get a different job. I'm going to do things differently. So be bold in this area. Show up. I mean, you've been working through things quite a bit this month, right? With Venus been really working away on all those layers, and then Mercury was honing in on it, and it is time to be bold, and you might just be pushed into it, because that's what eclipses often do, right? They push us a little bit. They give us the push that we need. The ruler of this eclipse is Mars. Mars is still in Cancer, still in its shadow phase. So Mars is not the boldest at the moment, still not fully ready to give 100%. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be bold and that you shouldn't take steps forward. You should, but just be aware that Mars in Cancer is ruled by the moon. There might be a lot of unconscious fears that you just have to step over, right? You're asked to step over them. They are there. You still got to go. We still got to move forward. It's time to move forward. And if you're not moving forward, then you might this eclipse might just push you. It's like a karmic release, even if we don't want to. We don't want to take the step. We don't want to be bold. I can see that for many of us, that we are just dealing with all these fears, these primal fears, and we don't even know what exactly it is we are fearing. We don't even know. We want to do something, but we're not doing it, and we don't really understand it, right? There's these subconscious layers that hold us back. And this eclipse is saying you gotta do it anyways. If you have any questions about this eclipse, please feel free to ask. If you want a personal reading, you can click on the link in the description box. Anything else, I'm here for you. Ask away. I'll talk to you in the next video.